Okay, first let me apologize for how weird and glowy this video might get. Like shiny kind of thing. I didn't realize, I'm using my straight edges. This one is ooh, that's shiny too. Anywho, uh you're here not for the lighting and the cinematography. You're here to see what I do. Now, in the video yesterday, I had glued everything down. I was showing you how I create these pieces of cardboard that I use, and I laminate them with cardboard so that they're 3-ply. 1, 2, 3. And I just realized I glued that one the wrong way. It really doesn't matter. I put all of these together, and I measured and made sure everything was about a centimeter bigger than it needed to be, because I knew I was going to be cutting it down. This is one of the short sides that's going to be like the little gable part of the top. So this one I've already cut, and you can see these are different sizes. And I just wanted to show you how I do this. It's not a super duper accurate. It gets me in the ballpark of being at straight lines and angles. Does that make sense? And I do it this way simply because I have the materials to do it, and I work in a pretty small space, so I can't have like a separate drafting and cutting table. The surface that you see here is what I work on. So to do this, to cut them down so they're nice like this, I use a couple of different things. The first is my trusty straight edge. Now, this is a ruler that was given to me. You can see it was made in the United States. It's called the Publisher. This has points and picas. This was for back in the day when you had to measure the text using something external because it wasn't on computer. 5 point, 8 point, they're the picas, inches. I use this primarily as my straight edge. It's 18 inches long. It was a gift to me by a very good friend of mine who I've known since I think I was 5. He gave it to me when I went off to design school. I don't think he used it anymore. So thank you, George. This has been back and forth across the United States several times, and also across the Atlantic Ocean a couple times. And it is my favorite straight edge because you can see how nice and thin it is. So he must have paid bank for this. Now, because I measure everything in metric, I have a metric and imperial. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I just use metric. It's easier. I got this metal one. I picked this one up. It's good for just me making the measurements on things. You know what I mean? I make a mark here. I make a mark there. I also have, for smaller stuff, I have my little tiny one as well. You can see I have a thing for rulers. I'm also using a triangle. I think you might have seen, these are the triangles that I've had since I was a very young design student. So this is like 32, 34 years ago. So these have proved themselves. I got this newer one when I started working on the house, the dollhouse, because I simply needed a larger triangle. This is, I believe, a 10-inch triangle. And I like the clear ones, the see-through ones, because I can see better. And you can see my light right there. I'm also using my eraser, my mechanical pencil, my blade, and then I have this out to make some markings. So you can see on this one, I mark everything. Every piece is marked. This is short side number 1, needs vertical center. It doesn't need a vertical center anymore, so I can erase that. The reason I tend to, in the very early stages, only use pencil is because I'll write myself notes and then I can erase them. You can see here, I've already made the little tick marks for where this piece is supposed to be 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is, instead cutting these out, and because, let me see if I can get rid of that. I think you can maybe see a little bit better just for this little bit. So you can still see my little tick mark there. You can see the camera up there too. And this little tick mark. I'm really careful about how I make the tick marks, how wide I make them. I'm using my bigger pencil, my bigger mechanical pencil right now, because frankly, I can't see the smaller one when it's on this board in this kind of light. So all I've done is made sure that the bottom, the vertical, and the horizontal are lined up. And then what I do is I just very carefully, so there's my corner. Oh, that corner didn't turn out. You can see it really well. So I can see where that corner is. And I'm going to turn it and do the exact same thing over here. And again, I can be very exacting with my measurements. I really can. However, in working with these supplies, I can be a millimeter or a half a millimeter off, even 2 millimeters off. I can fix it. I know how to shim things up and fix them. I'm putting that away because you never ever want to cut with a blade and a plastic piece, a plastic straight edge. So that's why I have the publisher here. And then all I do, and this is, let me see if I can get this up a little higher so you can see it. There we go. That's a little better. I'm going to push this up. I absolutely adore this straight edge. I have used it so many times. Now I want you to notice, one of the things I love about this one for me is this little part reminds me I need to pull in my finger. So when I feel it, I know that I'm in the right spot. So you can see I was getting it lined up with this line, but you could see this finger like cowering, my first finger and my thumb cowering. So once it's in there, I extend my blade up so there's a number, like it's out there like 3 blade lengths. And then I don't go very fast, and I try very hard to keep my blade perpendicular to what I'm cutting. Now I've done about 3 cuts. Now I'm done with this. Put this away, and you can see there's a cut there. There's a nice size cut there. And because this is 3 thick, I think I've only gone through like the first piece of cardboard. And remember, I used wood glue inside of here. So this is, I kind of sometimes will feel humps and bumps. Now what I do, you can see I just kind of stuck my blade in there. I'm holding it, but I'm keeping my fingers away. This is really hard to see. And then again, I just slowly put it in. Slowly, I can feel that it's popped through. So you can see here, I've got a nice clean edge. There's sometimes I need to go in here and sand these a little bit because one might be a little higher than the other. If something is really out of whack, I will sometimes fix that when I'm doing the edging, that veneering strip that I put on there with carton board. I can usually fix it then with paper, brown paper and the veneering. And then this stuff goes back into the recycle bin. I also, one of the other reasons I do this is because getting the glue to go all the way to the edge of anything is sometimes a dangerous thing. Like I said, I don't have a lot of space. I don't want a lot of glue coming out of here and getting attached to things because this is wood glue. So when I'm putting the glue on, I'm concentrating about a little less than a centimeter from the edge. So a lot of times when I cut these off, the pieces just pop apart because there's really not a lot of glue holding them together. So again, this is what I do. Take my straight edge, I line it up, walk my fingers in, blade, keeping it, and you can kind of hear it go. Kind of makes like a little chugga kind of noise. Okay, I put that over there. Put this back in here. And then pulling it straight. And it pops right off. So that is how I do this. Wow, I got that really nice and even. So I won't have to do a whole lot of sanding on these. So I'm going to chop these other sides off. And I think the next video that you're going to end up seeing is me doing some dry fitting. Oh, I gotta use clothes so I don't hurt myself. So I'll see you in the next video.